Now, the Dallas Cowboys beat the Chargers in a rather blah Monday Night Football game. Nothing on the field was all that memorable. It was a cookie-cutter standard NFL game, low scoring, supposed to be high scoring, a lot of penalties, a lot of sloppy play, nothing out of the ordinary, certainly nothing that is all that memorable. But the story that stands out, and I'm never wrong about this stuff, is someone that was sitting in a luxury cabana. Say what? And I assume you know what I'm talking about if you've been listening and paying attention and been engaged, but there's a chance maybe you haven't. Maybe you've been in a fog somewhere and your memory's a little gummy. So the Chargers are a football team still trying to build a fan base after leaving San Diego years ago. And a random woman wearing what appeared to be a brand new Chargers powder blue jersey. She was there. She went viral. Now, I was at the game, and I didn't really pay attention to it. I saw the clips online, and I was bombarded with people who had hot takes on this. So this woman wearing what appeared to be a brand-new powder blue Charger jersey went viral for her over-the-top emotion. She was very emotional during the Monday Night Football game. And that woman has been tracked down. She has passionately, appropriately enough, denied that she is a paid actress, a plant, AI bot, any of those things. Her name, according to the internet, is Marianne Dew. That's her name, Marianne Dew. And she's become an overnight celebrity. Of course, welcome to the club. I'm an overnight celebrity. It's not that great. Anyway, Marianne Dew, very famous now, I guess, internet famous. Because she's animated. She's very animated there in her love of Justin Herbert and the Chargers, who did what the Chargers often do. Visited the Heartbreak Hotel, lost 20-17 to the Cowboys at SoFi Stadium. And many people from near and far accusing this woman of being planted, either by the NFL, by the Chargers, manufactured to increase female fan engagement. And that this is not legitimate. So let us discuss. Now, how do you process the reaction? How do you process the reaction to the viral Charger fan? Again, her name, Marianne Dew. So it does not pass the kosher test for me. It does not. I've got Will Ferrell, Pillsbury Doughboy, and Career Expo. And we're going to either sink or swim in this MALLER monologue. And we'll start with this. Number one. Number one. It's embarrassing, right? This whole story is embarrassing for the NFL and the Chargers. And I'll tell you why. Right? The fact that the NFL has done so many shady things over the years that it seems like most people think that this is a fake story. Me included. It's not. We're not getting the whole story, right? And many people seem to think it's more believable that the NFL either planted a fan or encouraged the fan to act a certain way, and that this is not a diehard Charger fan. It speaks volumes about the funny business that the NFL has been engaged in over the years. Now, she may or may not have been paid by the NFL, but we know she popped up on the Pat McAfee show, and we know that he pays apparently everyone that goes on his show. He also is in bed with the NFL because he works at ESPN, which is a partner of the NFL, and happens to broadcast the Monday night game. And just hours after that game ended, the very next day, they tracked down this woman. How do they track down the lady's number? I don't know. Maybe they already had her number. Who knows? But she popped up there on the show. Of course, she claimed it was all harmless fun, very organic and all that. Something just doesn't smell right. When you do the smell test on this, and I've done my own investigating, it's just an extreme phony vibe. Now, I understand there's a lot of gullible people out there that believe everything they're told. I mean, look at what happened in 2020. And I'm sure those people still exist and they live amongst us. But this woman was so over the top. It reminded me, I haven't watched Saturday Night Live in years, but back in the days I did watch Saturday Night Live, Will Ferrell was on there back in the 90s. There was a character, he was a cheerleader. He was a Spartan cheerleader, if I remember correctly, and just overly spirited, right? Just annoyed everyone, that whole thing. and that was for a TV show. This woman acted like you would act if you knew you were on television and you wanted to make sure the camera kept coming back to you. It reminded you of, if you've ever watched a game show, people have brought up, our buddy Jim Everett, the old Rams quarterback, brought up The Price is Right and how they look for the peppy cheerleader to be on the game show. The laughing, the clapping, the acting enthusiastic and all that. Over the top, right? Over the top. Trying too hard is the phrase often used in athletics. Trying too hard. You also have the photo, which shows her as a Viking fan. That certainly, that right there smells like a rat. I think the fan code of conduct, and as a fan, I think we all know the fan code of conduct. You decide as a child what your favorite team's going to be. It's a very important life choice. You make that decision normally around the age of 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, somewhere in that area. Now, oftentimes you pick the team because of family reasons, either because your family is a fan of a team or because you don't like your family, and so you pick their rival. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it would be logistically that you live in a certain city, you're a fan of a certain team. But that's your team, right, the rest of your life. And it's like the Oklahoma fight song, which sums up what being a fan is. And the Oklahoma fight song is sooner born, sooner bred, and when I die, I'll be sooner dead. And that's the way it goes. And there's photos of this woman wearing a Viking jersey around and all that stuff. That's not a real fan. And certainly if you're a Viking fan at one point and you become a Charger fan, you're not going to act with that much emotion as a Charger fan. It's like Eddie. Eddie's a fraud too. Eddie's a Steeler fan, but through marriage, he goes to Charger games and he wears the stuff, but he's not a real Charger fan. He's a Steeler fan. And he doesn't act like that. But maybe if he was on camera and they they say, hey, you're on TV, do a little song and dance. Come on, do a little tap dance. All right, now secondly, as for the game itself, the Cowboys, not to rehash the game, they won a close game, but Jerry Jones, his weekly paid radio appearance, Jerry was very critical of the way the game was played. He said, I felt it was as disjointed or sloppy a game as maybe, that's a strong word, for both sides, he said. He tacked on the both sides thing. And then later he did damage control because he realized he had said the thing he shouldn't have said, and that was going to be the big quote, that it was a sloppy game. And then he said he was proud of the Cowboys for getting the win. So he's proud of his Dallas football team. So what is your reaction to Jerry Jones, though, calling the Cowboys win sloppy? All right. So my reaction is it was sloppy, and it is also a subtle jab at Mike McCarthy. It is a low-key poke to the Pillsbury Doughboy coaching the Dallas Cowboys. The devil is in the details. Mike McCarthy's team was lacking punctuality, discipline. Don't beat yourself. Clock management issues at the end of the first half. Mental mistakes. It was shambolic. And while Dallas won the game, and that is the ultimate body spray, when you win, right? We all know that. When you win, we like talking about losers because losers are more fun because it's finger pointing. When you win, everyone just says, oh, it doesn't matter. We won the game. All right, who cares? Who cares? We won the game. All right, final point. Let's go to Arizona. We're not going to talk baseball. We're going to talk football. Why? Jonathan Gannon, the coach, in air quotes, of the Cardinals, he is very optimistic that Kyler Murray will return. His return is imminent. The little guy, Alligator Arms Murray, who is rehabbing from a torn ACL, may, that's a weasel word, it's also a month, may appear on the practice field soon. Now, speaking on his paid radio gig, Jonathan Gannon said things are, quote, trending in the right direction. So here's the question. The Cardinals suck like we thought they were going to suck. Will Kyler Murray's return make things better, worse, or keep them the same? So I'll go first on this. This is what's known as a lateral move, the sideways shuffle. And I'll tell you why. Joshua Dobbs, while limited, not given the great gifts from the football gods, Joshua Dobbs has gotten every inch of his ability, the most of his talents. And Murray, he brings a different set of problems. He's not a leader. He's a bad locker room guy. He's inconsistent on the field. There are stretches where he's very good. Then when the defense figures him out for a stretch, he sucks. He's passive-aggressive. He's got the pouty face. And he is the polar opposite, right? He's the epitome of the opposite of Joshua Dobbs. Joshua Dobbs is a guy that gets every ounce of his ability. A Kyler Murray? No. And this is a guy, Murray, that failed when he had pretty good talent around him in Arizona. And I don't know if you've been paying attention, but those guys are all gone, right? They have demoed the roster. They are in the suck business. And so if Murray does come back, I don't think he'll be back for like another month. I think they're gonna get right now they're 1-5, the Cardinals. They've got to get to like 1-10, something along those lines. Then you bring Murray back because maybe he'll have that one good game and you might win a game you're not supposed to win. But 2 wins doesn't necessarily kill you. But that's the thing, right? Murray's return will be a career expo is what it's going to be. He will be showcasing his skills because there is no way on God's green earth the Cardinals are going to bring him back. They're going to trade him, trade his ass. So he will be auditioning, doing a dummy run for the Atlanta Falcons. They don't have a quarterback. The Washington Commanders, they don't really have a quarterback. The Tennessee Titans, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, those teams, and a few others that are all horny to get a quarterback. So Kyler Murray will be out there performing, and should he do well, and he can convince some team to trade for his massive contract. But Murray, one way or another, is gonzo. He's on the auctioning block after the season. And the Cardinals right now, they're 1-5. They're one of 5 teams that are 1-5. Carolina is the only winless team. So for now, Carolina would have the number 1 pick. Actually, that would be the Chicago Bears, who have Carolina's pick. But Arizona, they would have the number 4 pick if the season ended today. But they're in a neck-and-neck race. Down the stretch they come to figure out who's going to get the first pick.